Alberta is going through its referendum very soon, and that is scheduled for October 19th. And now we have Elections Alberta is facing a staffing crunch before the deadline. So essentially, it's asking other provinces for experienced personnel to help administer the October 19th referendum that will include a question on the separation from Canada. So now this referendum does not mean that based on the results that, Alberta will separate from Canada. Essentially, based on the results, if there is an overwhelming yes, that means that signals to the government of Alberta to start taking steps to having an actual referendum on whether Alberta should separate from Canada. So essentially, it's been dubbed as a referendum on a referendum. But needless to say, it's a very significant one because it could change the course of where Alberta is headed based on this October 19th referendum. Now, millions of ballots may need to be counted within 48 hours. And Elections Alberta is seeking experienced staff from other jurisdictions. It just does not have enough staffing. So it's looking at other provinces that run their own elections, whether it's Elections Ontario or other provinces. Well, this is a time where if you have experience and Alberta is looking for help. This agency, Elections Alberta, is expecting to need at least 60,000 Alberta-based elections worker. 60,000 significant. And about only 24,000 applications have been received as 2 weeks ago. So they're off for quite a bit when it comes to about 46,000 more election workers that they're going to need. So now Premier Danielle Smith announced the referendum for October 19th, if you recall, when there was an overwhelming amount of signatures that was sent to Elections Alberta for the referendum to separate. So now if a successful referendum would not automatically make Alberta independent, but what it does do is that cessation would involve constitutional negotiations, as well as Indigenous treaty rights, division of assets and liabilities, borders, as well as currency and federal legislation. So, what it will do is it will start the province of Alberta to start taking all those things into consideration and start to having those discussions. So, it's very significant. The immediate risk is administrative, right? And when it comes to this referendum on October 19th, because it's significant because you do need staffing for Elections Alberta, as well as ballot security, training, accurate counting. This is a very pivotal referendum. And it also gives the constitutional importance to the question, right? The public confidence in the process of a referendum. So you do need trained elections workers to be able to attend and to be able to help out. And the key figure is 60,000 election workers that Alberta needs for the referendum. And there's also been news from the University of Regina where researchers say that Russian content operations are amplifying Alberta separatism and attempting to make the movement appear more popular than the polling indicates, right? So now the researchers examined posts published between July 17th and July 30th. They linked 80% of the analyzed disinformation posts to Russia, and albertaseparatists.com allegedly used a false British Columbia address, and researchers connected the operations to a Russian cyber unit previously associated with interference in, if you recall, the 2016 US elections. Now, a separate April investigation identified inauthentic accounts promoting Alberta's annexation by the United States. Now, those videos had approximately accumulated 40 million views, very significant, and fewer than 1 in 5 Albertans support separation, according to the cited Ipsos polling. Now, researchers said that some inauthentic material was clearly produced outside of Canada, although they could not trace every account. But this is very significant because this shows that foreign influence campaigns often exploit existing domestic grievances and issues in this case, rather than what it means in terms of creating a new one. So yes, there's grievances from Albertans when it comes to Ottawa, but is this adding fuel to fire when it comes to this foreign interference? Now, this is significant because this deepened distrust and social division is significant, as it could essentially lead the way to what this referendum is, and possibly it could have been why those number of ballots were cast. If you recall the initial signatures that were required to start a referendum discussion, that the number was about 180,000 signatures, 181,000 signatures were required, and then therefore you had the separatist movements getting over 300,000 signatures. So that was, much past the minimum requirement to be able to go into a referendum. And essentially, when you look at what's happening on social media and Reddit and your Facebook and Instagram accounts, essentially it could fuel a movement that maybe would be based on foreign interference rather than what would be organic within the country. So this is part of what is now highly discussed, and to make sure that Canadians are aware of it, because when it comes to polling data, Albertan support for a separation from Canada has consistently remained below 30%. Now, this is going to be significant of what the turnout's going to be on October 19th, but that is why Elections Alberta needs to make sure that the referendum and the vote count is above board, and therefore there's no questions raised because it has the 60,000 election workers.